Welcome in to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at College Football Dogs. Let's get rock hard.
With the Royals now too.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome in to episode 31 of Rock Hard Ball. Another big episode on deck. Again, if you're new, I'm Karter. That's Weezy. We got producer Clyde in here as well. Got another great show for you all on deck today. As you can maybe see in the title, we'll be recapping week 4 in college football, week 3 in the NFL. Then we'll give you a little update on our rock hard bets. Again, every Thursday we do a segment where Weezy and I give you 3 plays from college football, 3 plays from the NFL, our 3 favorite bets, and then basically kind of go over them, why we like them, stuff like that. So we'll give you an update on how we did this past week. Then, of course, we'll do rock hard takes. Rock hard takes today will be worst places to take a dump. So if you've ever had to poop and you're kind of in a not great spot, stick around for that. Let us know your thoughts, because there are some really bad places to have to drop one. And then finally, we got Kelly's Kinky Rankings. What is that again today?
Gray's upsets, I think, in college football.
Gray's upsets. Okay. Gray's upsets in college football. All right. That should be good. But yeah, that's the show rundown. So that's what we got on doc for today. Again, if you're new or if you're still around and haven't done it yet, please give us, a follow, a like, all that stuff on the social medias. Subscribe, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, everything. Go check it out. We appreciate it. So let's get into college football first. That's usually where we start. We'll keep that rolling that way. Here's kind of the bigger storylines. Again, Huskers fall at home to Illinois on Friday. Tough loss. We'll get into that one a little bit. Michigan silences the doubters in their win against USC. Utah took big control of the Big 12, not just through their own game, but through other happenings throughout college football with the Kansas State loss. Tennessee picked up a big ranked road win against Oklahoma. Box score says it was a lot closer than it was. We'll talk about that. And then just any other, whatever notable matchups that we had from across the country this weekend in college football. But that being said, let's get into the tough one first. Huskers fall at home to Illinois. Final score was 31-24. Again, if you're new, don't know, Weezy and I go to school here in Nebraska. I'm a big Nebraska fan. Weezy roots for them as well, but Michigan fan at heart. But still likes to see Nebraska succeed. So tough weekend for us in that facet. They lose in overtime to Illinois, a game that I really felt like Nebraska should have won. I know there's been some murmurs and stuff now that Nebraska was overhyped and all this. They were never a top 25 team. I'm not buying that. I'll just come out and say that right away. If you think it's a biased take, that's fine. But I still fully believe that they are a top 25 team, or at the very least deserve to still be in the discussion as a top 25 team. Because I do think this Illinois team is probably better than definitely better than we thought coming into the season, and even maybe better yet than we know now. You never know. Luke Altmaier looked really, really good in this game. But Raiola, he had a freshman moment there towards the end where they lost, took some big sacks there on overtime. But, his offensive line broke down. And the one thing that I, again, will mention with this game, this is my 4th year in school in Nebraska. And I grew up in North Dakota, wasn't really a Nebraska fan growing up. So didn't pay, tons of close attention until maybe my senior year of high school is when I first started watching some Nebraska games, when I knew I was going to go to school there. And then obviously I've been a diehard ever since I came to college. This is the first time ever that I will put a little bit of blame on the refs for a reason that Nebraska lost. I get that there was bad calls on both sides, but it felt like there were some really big ones and big spots that Nebraska kind of got screwed over on. But I'm not going to sit here and say that that's the only reason they lost. Obviously, you can't take those big sacks in overtime, and the missed touchdown to Lindmeyer in the end zone, stuff like that. Obviously, you got to clean that up. I didn't love the decision to kick it there towards the end of the game. They had 4th and 3, down there. For those who don't know, Tristan Alvano is the starting kicker for Nebraska. He hasn't been particularly stellar in his college career. He's a true sophomore, and struggled a little bit as a freshman and early on in his sophomore season. But he was hurt, and he was still the starter, and we still, the backup is the guy we decided to roll out there who couldn't beat the starter out for the job in a job that he already wasn't doing a very good job at. No, it's a lot of jobs in there, but I just don't love the idea of running him out there, John Hole, and giving him, that chance to put the game, in a 3-point spot with it basically on the line. Of course, at that point, the one thing that Nebraska didn't really struggle with at all for most of the night was getting 3 or 4 yards. I don't know why you don't just roll the offense out there again, especially on the last play. You beat them. You had them beat, and you just missed the throw, which happens. But yeah, Cass said murmurs that it was a ref show from Nebraska fans only. Sure. I think that it was a little bit at times for sure.
The 2 face masks obviously went Nebraska's way, but again, it was bad all night, which is the most frustrating thing.
Yeah, it's not even just the Nebraska thing. Just I would have just liked to not see it at all. Like to just call a better game. I mean,
No, seriously, they make it about themselves.
It was bad. Raiola, you can at least spell his name right. Definitely not washed. That was the other take that really pissed me off, is that like people were acting like this was like a bad game for Raiola. He had a really good game for most of this. Yes,
I mean, he went
everybody wants to
24
talk.
for 35, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick, which in a lot of other universes too could have been 4 touchdowns.
That pick wasn't his
was
fault.
one of the best plays I've ever seen from a DB.
Yeah, and it's like, again, that's also on I forgot who that was in the end zone. I don't know. I think it was either Nair or Banks.
I think it was Nair.
But you can't let that ball get ripped away from you.
No.
You had it in your hands. Should have been a touchdown. Yes, Cass, it's probably a good point. They probably won't listen to you too much if you didn't watch the second of the game. But no, at the end of the day, yes, Nebraska has to be better. They have to execute better. Just don't put it in a position where the refs can affect the outcome.
Yeah.
And that's what always the name of the game is at the end of the day. I know there was some USC fans that we're going to get to here in a second that were very upset about, the Michigan game. And here's the thing. Yes, you can, as a fan, we're going to do it. You can bitch a little bit about the refs after the game. And yeah, I will again admit even now that I do feel like they played too much of a factor in this game. But Nebraska, I still feel like was the better team in this game. And you should have just won at home. You have to win that game.
Yeah, I don't think the biggest factor, though, is the refs. It's the fact that you cannot have Illinois pick up 8 to 9 yards every single first down on the run.
Yeah, that was bad too.
You just can't do that. Like, obviously, Altmaier looked unbelievable, 21 for 27, 215 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's really easy to play quarterback when every single time it's 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2.
Yeah, and that's the biggest concern, I think, with Nebraska as we look forward to the rest of the season here is the defense, who is supposed to be, the strong point of this team, the heart and soul, whatever. That was the unit that looked the worst here on Friday night, which isn't a good sign. I mean, this is a defense that we talked about maybe being a top 15, even borderline top 10 defense in the country. They were last year, statistically, I think they were statistically the 11th best defense in the entire country, and they brought pretty much everybody back. So you would have liked to see them put up a better effort in this one. They made some good stands, really, in a lot of spots, on 2nd, 3rd, and short. Then they tighten up, but it's just like on first down. Yes, like you said, they gave up way too many yards over and over again. And then the red zone defense was atrocious.
It was bad.
The amount of just slip outs that Illinois got was bad.
But the other thing, though, that like I look at this game thinking I'm going to take away from this that Illinois is just a really good team. Like, obviously, I still think Nebraska's top 25 team. They're going to get back in there after they pick up a few more wins. I think they pound Purdue this week. Seeing them get jumped right away, really bad opening drive from Nebraska's defense, 7-0, you're like, ooh, not a good spot. Immediately came back and just dominated the rest of the first half, which is a good sign going forward.
Yeah, again, it's always hard to, and you don't always love to take whatever the moral wins or something. But it was still a lot of good in this game that I'll take away from it. Because yes, Illinois is a good team, and I do truly think that Nebraska controlled pretty much that entire game. Just a couple spots that the execution wasn't there, stuff like that. And yeah, I will again say that the reffing was questionable at times, but end of the day, I think they cleaned it up. Still a really good shot to go in that Ohio State game with a 6-1 record and be right back into the top 25, maybe even top 20 heading into Columbus. So season's not over by any means. The amount of people that I've been seeing coming out now, even Nebraska fans, and being like, we all knew this was coming. Like they're going to go 6-6 and stuff like that. That's just ridiculous, because these are the same people who are saying, that we were going to go 10-2. And so, obviously 10-2 would seem like a long ways away now. But I still don't think that 9-3 is by any means out of the picture. I still think that there's a very realistic chance they win 9 games this season. Obviously the pick going into the year by me was 8. So that's still, I think, a really, really good play. Not overly concerned with Nebraska at all.
Yeah, no, neither am I.
Colin, you're a Nebraska student as well.
I think the goal though now is 9. I think beforehand it was 10, because 10 gives you that chance to maybe get on the outside of that playoff. Right now it's 9. Take care of business against teams like Rutgers coming up.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
Go on the 4th. Don't fucking kick a field goal for the remainder of the year.
Until
Avano's good, maybe like week 8.
Also, I love the shot, though, on 3rd and 3. He was wide open.
Yeah,
it was a missed pass. It was a great play. Yeah. But that's the play that you make when you know you're going for it on 4th.
And that's even another one, too, where I saw a little bit of hate from some Nebraska fans. I mean, like, why didn't we have, like, the top guys on the field for that play? Like, because I believe Lloyd, Nair, and Banks, I don't think any of those 3, or maybe one of the 3 was, but Fedoni, I don't think maybe was on the field. They're top, like, 4 playmakers. I think maybe there was one out of the 4 that was on the field, which, yes, I get that to a point. At the same time, though, if you bring out the guys who are predominantly known as the guys that you come in to run the ball with, and then you slip one of them out. It's a good play call, really.
It was a good play. He was wide open.
If he catches the ball, everybody's praising Marcus Satterfield and Matt Rule for having the balls go out there and do that and getting the touchdown. The one thing that is kind of tough though is Ryla, a guy who's only been there for a year. It's a guy like Lindenmeyer who he doesn't probably throw to a ton, doesn't really have the chemistry. I think a lot of what happened on that pass was maybe not even. I think Ryla probably actually did hit the spot he was trying to hit. I just don't really know if he realized how slow Lindenmeyer was.
No,
I think that's what it was.
It's a tight end.
Because
he's a fucking tight end.
He's also a tight end on like a very slow spectrum.
Yes, he's a very slow tight end.
He's a blocker.
It also looked like he almost not like a true, but like almost had like a little bit of a false step right towards the end too. Like right as he was kind of coming across the goal line, it looked like he just lost his footing for like a brief second, which I still don't know if he gets there, but still made it probably look a little bit worse. So again, yeah, I'm not gonna anybody that's trying to throw any type of hate at Ryla, I think is out of their mind because that's just not warranted after a game like that. But Nebraska drops it. We'll move on to Purdue, and we'll see what happens from that point on. But congrats to Illinois as well. They did hang in there. They executed in overtime, and they got the job done. So we'll move past that one. Let's go to the next game. We're going to start with our favorite teams today. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but you can probably tell by the little rundown. You get some Weezy's Michigan, the Big Blue here. They silenced the doubters. Big time win from them. The offense, had been pretty much non-existent all season long. And they went out against an Illinois team, or not Illinois, USC team that everybody's riding high on, talking about how much the defense had improved, new D-line, they're much better at tackling, blah, blah, blah. Michigan came out and told the country that we can still just run down these guys' throats, and that's what they did.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful from that aspect, but like it also in the big picture kind of tells us what I think everybody kind of knew going into this year, that like unless they had a quarterback, like they had a quarterback going into this year, I think people thought like in general they could like go back to back.
Yeah.
This officially shows they don't have a quarterback, but this team is a team where they're going to beat a team like USC. They're going to beat everybody below them, but they probably don't have a realistic chance to beat, those top tier teams.
Do you still have like faith that maybe if Tuttle comes and like, once he's healthy, if
he's healthy and because Sharon Moore already said that Orgy's going next week, which I'm fine with. You should be able to take care of Minnesota team. I don't know though, because I thought he was leaning towards healthy, and if they're still not going to him, it just means we don't have a quarterback, which caps out how good this team can be.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. But Mullings is an animal. I think if you're Michigan now, you officially have to give him the backfield, right?
Oh, 100%.
Because I mean, they were still starting Donovan Edwards in this game.
He's averaging, I want to say, 9.8 yards a carry, like on the season.
Yeah, had over 9 yards a carry on this game. He was really impressive. I mean, Edwards didn't play bad, but I mean, Mullings just looks like he's still on
just so much more dynamic.
Level. Yeah, he's more dynamic for sure. And then like USC, I mean, I'm just gonna like pat on the back, give yourself one too. Like I think we called it. Like I mean, they're still not completely frauds, and we never said that, but this team's not a national title contender.
No, and to think though, seeing that defense, seeing what they brought in good pieces. That defense was improved. We saw it.
Yeah, it was better.
Was not bad. You're not a legit defense though if a team tells you from the literal first drive that we're not going to throw the ball, and you still can't stop it. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, give them props. They adjusted at halftime. It was better in the second half, but at the same time, yeah, like you just said, Alex Orgy threw the ball 12 times in the entire game. He threw 32 yards. That's unheard of in today's football. Hell, that was unheard of even in the 80s. Like quarterbacks don't throw for 30 yards. The forward pass has been invented for like 100 years now, and Michigan just didn't use it in this game, and they were still able to beat them. So if you're USC, this puts a heavy damper on any hope that you had of being a legitimate national title contender. And again, like I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the Nebraska game, it's fine if you want to complain about the refs a little bit, but the refs do not, like, unless it's something like just absolutely egregious, most of the time the refs do not like 100% win or lose you a game. That's just not how football works. Like you still are playing. Like I get there can be bad calls, but like the amount of just absolute freak out I saw from USC.
Oh my goodness. The last play, they're like crying for holding and they're using the same picture. And literally the lineman to the left, you can see clearly his two hands on our guy's face mask pushing up. It's like, okay, like, so what? Redo the down. Guess what? If Michigan needs 1 yard, they're going to get 1 yard.
Yeah. That I will say though, speaking of that, still don't know what that decision was to do when they threw on second down. That didn't really make sense to me. They had 3 plays, or they had 4 plays or whatever it was to go 3 yards basically, and they wasted one of them on a pass. I don't really know why.
Yeah, also stopped the clock. Did not like that move. And then another thing's true too is Michigan's defense is still elite, still one of the best in the country. Wink Martindale, still don't have faith in him. He's like so against rushing 4 on third down. He either sends 7 or sends 3, which I'm not quite sure what the game plan is there. It doesn't work out. I think they're bottom 10 team in third down efficiency on defense. Like it's bad. But I mean, Miller Moss also got hit all day long.
No, he was uncomfortable all game. I mean, he threw the ball 51 times, which is ridiculous. Completed 28 of the passes. And I mean, this was the first time too for like USC that we saw Miller Moss look like human, which again, like we just had not seen up to this point because he had played some lower tier competition. Like, he played well against LSU. Again, I still think that this is validating our point that neither USC or LSU was as good as people thought they were coming into the year, which is weird because I'm still seeing LSU get like bumped even more as the season goes on, which they even after the USC loss, they still have been like
they barely dropped.
Pretty. Like South Carolina had them on the ropes.
Yep.
Could have very well lost. I forget who they played.
Well, the AP poll is still high in both of these teams.
Yeah, it's
I thought
really
USC would drop to like 20. They dropped 2 spots, just like right behind Michigan, which tells me the AP poll still thinks that this USC team is really good. And then I think my last statement on this is, like you've said, on Twitter all day, I've seen USC fans say like, "Oh, the better team lost today." Like if one team like cannot complete a forward pass and you lose, you are not the better team.
Which is again why I say like the Nebraska situation was a completely different thing. Like that was just a back and forth game all game long. I felt like for the majority of the game, they did execute better.
Yeah, I thought they were better. And then overtime, just a collapse.
Yeah, and then they just collapsed in overtime. And got put in some bad spots by calls. But again, I've as a fan admitted that does not decide the game. So the USC fans that still just aren't letting it go, I don't get it because this is not remotely the same thing. It's like I saw the one like they're like comparing like, oh, like look how much USC outgained them in yards. Look how much more passing yards USC threw for. It's because Michigan just drained the clock the entire game and just had slow, methodical drives.
If you're going to go down 14-0 to a Michigan team, it's going to be tough to get back into it.
Yeah,
the fact that they even did, congrats. That was really well from them. Great second half performance. But if any team goes down 14-0 to Michigan in the first half, have fun coming back.
Yeah, it's tough because they're just going to bleed you out slow. So, yeah, good win for Michigan, though. Very, very impressed. I mean, again, I think we did a good job. Showed our ball knowing skills. We both thought that Michigan was still a legit team and that USC was not as good as people thought. And I think this proved it. So let's go to the next game, though. Utah takes control of the Big 12. So this one, we'll kind of go hand in hand here with 2 games. So first, let's talk about Utah itself. They go into Oklahoma State. No Cam Rising. They win 22-19. Isaac Wilson, not exactly a great game either. 17 for 29, 270 yards, a touchdown, but he also threw 2 picks. But Micah Bernard, running back for Utah, ran the ball really, really well. Defense played well. I mean, they held that Oklahoma State running game to 48, I guess technically 56 yards because they have the sack. That counts as -8, but 56 rushing yards virtually. Ollie Gordon, 3.8 yards a carry.
He was nowhere
to be found. Alan Bowman, who had played really, really well through the first few games, did not have a good game at all. He had below a 50% completion rate, threw a couple picks. So impressive showing from Utah, where I think it's very comforting for Utah fans to see that without Cam Rising, they can still go beat an Oklahoma State team who is absolutely still a top 25, maybe top 20 team in college football. And you can go in there and win without your star quarterback. So they showed a lot of depth that I feel like Utah.
Win the Big 12.
Yes. No, I think that's a foregone conclusion at this point, unless barring something crazy. But they showed a lot more depth, I think, than we've expected from or seen from really Utah in the past.
Oh, 100%. And then also Alan Bowman, though, he's not a good quarterback. He never has been. So I think that's a little bit different. And then obviously any team that can hold Ollie Gordon to 42 yards is probably going to win the game.
Yep. Yeah, Ollie Gordon, very, very good. He hasn't really looked great, though, just in general this year. It's kind of weird. He hasn't been stellar so far. So we'll see if he can kind of get things back on track, because obviously that'll be very important if Oklahoma State wants to actually, still have a chance to contend this year.
Yeah.
He's going to have to be better.
I mean, he'll get going.
Yeah, you would think. But we'll see. I guess I don't know. I haven't really watched enough of Oklahoma State. Like, I don't know if it's offensive lineman's been bad or what, but yeah, he hasn't been great so far for Oklahoma State. But yes, another reason why Utah firmly takes control of the Big 12 that we'll just hit on really quick here is Kansas State got embarrassed on national television against BYU. 38-9 was the final score. Just couldn't really compete from like start to end. I mean, they took a 6-0 lead early, and then BYU just forced turnovers all game. Did they have a block punt or something? I think as well.
I think it was some special teams, yeah.
But yeah, they just dominated them in virtually every facet of the game. Pick up a really big win. I was high on Kansas State. I picked them in my bets to cover, I think, this week. Obviously that didn't happen, so not a good showing from them on any front.
I mean, no, they got throttled. Avery Johnson finally looked human. Where do they go from here, though?
K-State?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation because I don't think that they're necessarily a bad team still. I don't know. There's just some things that they got to figure out on. It's just weird. It's like in a game like this, it's almost hard to point at one thing and be like, this is what they have to fix.
Yeah,
so you just don't know.
You just got throttled all game. You don't know what to fix. No, I don't know. I mean, how good's BYU? Maybe is that the argument now?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very, very interesting spot for both these teams. I don't know I think BYU got ranked, didn't they?
They had to.
They had to have. Yeah, they're up to 22 now in the AP poll. And Kansas State dropped all the way to 23. They were the biggest follower, I believe, this week with 10 spots. So yeah, Utah now firmly in control. They don't even play Kansas State. So even if Kansas State does get things figured out, that's not really an issue. So yeah, things are going to get interesting there in the Big 12. Let's go one more game here, and then we'll get to a commercial, and then we'll come back and finish up with the rest of the college football slate. But Tennessee and Oklahoma. Tennessee picks up a good ranked win on the road in Norman. It was Josh. Is it Heupel, right? That's how you say his last name. Yeah, Heupel returns to his alma mater with his stellar sophomore quarterback Nico Imlava. Leva, I don't know how you say his name, but not exactly his greatest game by any means of his career. But
they didn't ask for anything.
Tennessee just dominated on defense.
They just ran the ball 52 times.
Game wasn't close. I mean, they were up 20. What was it? 22-3, I think, going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just kind of I don't know what analogy I was looking for there, but like kind of just strangled Oklahoma from start to finish. Like
and they never
give them air,
which is crazy how we always talk about how these SEC teams will just pile on. I mean, they didn't. They ran the ball 52 times. I mean, I thought like out of the jump, I was like, oh, this might get like really ugly, like we predicted, but it wasn't. And obviously the box score is so much different than what this game truly was. I mean, number one thing to hit on probably is Jackson Arnold. Bad.
Yeah, didn't look good at all in this game.
Like bad.
He's benched.
Got benched. Yeah, that's never a good sign. So Oklahoma obviously has to take a little bit of a look in the mirror here now as well. I don't think they really. I think most Oklahoma fans knew that this wasn't really a year they were going to compete for a national title.
No, I just can't stand the Oklahoma fans who thought that this game was semi-close.
No. Yeah, Tennessee was obviously on a different level. We both knew that coming into it. So that's kind of how it went. And again, Tennessee, I think, continues to move themselves closer to that upper tier with your Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, and Alabama. I think is probably the four that you probably kind of say right now. Alabama still kind of maybe is on the outside looking in, but I think Tennessee's probably right there with Alabama.
Yeah. And then Ole Miss is hanging around right around.
Ole Miss as well. Yep. Which is still weird because we don't really know what they are. All right. That being said, let's go to a quick commercial. When we come back, we'll get into some other notable games that we saw from the college slate this past weekend. And then, of course, after that, we'll get to NFL, Rock Our Bets updates, Rock Our Takes, Kelly's Geeky Rankings. So still a lot of great stuff in the show in front of us. So make sure you stick around. But we will catch you guys back in a minute here.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12 plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College Football Dogs, for the fans.
All right. Welcome back. Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at College Football Dogs. Again, we just kind of wrapped up the headliner matchups, I guess, in college football this past weekend. Now we are going to get into just kind of some other notable ones that we wanted to kind of just mention in this landscape of college football. So Missouri survives another close call against Vanderbilt. Went to double OT, end up getting the job done. They win that game 30-27. So shout out to Vanderbilt once again. Like, they have been, I think, just much better than anybody expected them to be this year. And I mean, had Missouri against the ropes, but it's looking more and more like Missouri. Probably
I just don't think Missouri is very good, which sucks. I mean, they were supposed to be really good. Hoping they still are, but they really need to figure things out. It's just back-to-back weeks that they need to simply play better.
Absolutely. Let's see other ones. K-State, we already talked about that. NIU, thanks for coming out this year. We'll see in a few years. Tough blow. I mean, you had the runaway lead for the Group of 5 bid with your winning against Notre Dame to start the year, and now you're just kind of goodbye. Losing to Buffalo at home is not a great look. So.
No, but it was a fun week though. It was a fun week for them. Fun 2 weeks, I believe, right? Or
yeah, because they were 25, I think, after that initial one, or 24.
Yeah,
and they climbed like one spot after a bye week.
Fun week. See you back in 10 years. They were ranked, 10 years ago. They were ranked here. It was so obvious though. I thought it would last a little bit longer than Buffalo, but what can you do?
Yep. James Madison, they apparently almost retired Mac Brown from coaching college football. I don't know if you saw that, but he said that like in the locker room after the game. Again, James Madison throttled North Carolina 70-50. So after the game, Mac Brown basically told his team, like, if you guys don't think I'm like fit to lead this team, just let me know and I will step down. And it somehow got leaked. So just not great there for UNC and Mac Brown. He kind of cleared it up. He was like, I'm not going to give up on this team, obviously, but I did tell the guys like straight up, like, if they feel like that I cannot lead them, then I will step away. And apparently like, he just takes losing like very, very hard. So just ultimate football guy really is what it comes down to.
That is hilarious. So that kind of got leaked. Just let's survey, raise a hand. Should I retire?
Yeah, no, it's like, do you guys think I suck? If so, I will leave. I promise. But yeah, tough luck for UNC. We'll see if they can kind of bounce back a little bit. Big news in the ACC. Florida State won a game.
Congratulations.
So congratulations. Maybe you can still get close to like maybe within a half game of that total win margin. Never know. Again, that was set at 9.5, and they have already managed to miss it because obviously they already have 3 losses on the year. So not great for Florida State in that facet. But congratulations, won a game. Colorado somehow beat Baylor.
Brutal.
Did you watch the end of that game?
Mm-hmm.
We were together.
Correct. I completely forgot about that. But yeah, that was wild. I mean, do you know who that wide receiver was that dropped it like on the one?
The same dude who caught it.
You remember what his name is?
Number 10. I gotta pull this up. No, just gut wrenching. As a guy who had a lot of money on Baylor, really killed the mood that night.
Yeah, it's not ideal. But I mean, holy hell, did he get just bailed out by them being able to score like the next play? Colorado also stormed the field after that game, which was kind of weird, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's Baylor. I found the guy. It's LeJonte Wester.
Oh yeah.
So
because he was the one who dropped it the one, so they threw it right back to him. I mean, congrats to Colorado, I guess. Big win. I'll give them credit. Baylor is a solid team.
Yeah,
just sucks.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I will say about Colorado is like they are never as good as we always hype them up to be, year in and year out. But at the same time, they have, I think, gotten better still under the Dion regime. Like I think
he took over 1-11 team. They've gotten better. I mean, if you're a Colorado,
I just don't know what the true ceiling is, though.
Yeah.
Like, I still feel like that's fairly low. Like, I don't think they'll ever be like a legit contender.
No, they will never be.
No.
I mean, they have 2 superstars on their team by, the media's eyes, and they still aren't great. Oh, I mean, Travis Hunter's still awesome. He went for, I want to say, like 130 yards or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had another ridiculous game. Then finally, the other one we were going to mention was Rutgers, Virginia Tech was one we were kind of keeping an eye on. 2 teams that, people had hopes for being kind of upper middle of their respective conferences coming into the year. Virginia Tech obviously dropped one at the beginning of the year to Vandy, which wasn't a great look, but then they go into this one. They lose at home to Rutgers, but another good win for Rutgers. They're 3-0 now going into conference play. So, they could be, I think that's looking back at Nebraska again. I think that's probably their toughest game on the schedule outside of, or before they get to those last few with Ohio State and USC and stuff. So
100%. Yeah. No, I said earlier, I think they're going to be a really good team. They are. I mean, they don't wow you in any facet of their game. It's like they have a killer offense, killer defense. There's overall just a strong team.
Yeah.
Who's going to win games, well coached.
Absolutely. All right. I think that probably does it for college football. I don't think we really had anything else there. That being said, let's go to the NFL. So lots of good stuff happening in the NFL this week. Kind of just look at a general broad headline thing here first before we get going. Malik Willis gets revenge against the Titans. Obviously, they kind of gave up on him. They traded him away. So he goes back in there, gets a win with the Packers. We'll talk about that. Malik Neighbors is an alien. Again, we'll get into it. Young quarterback struggled in Indy. Caleb Williams, Anthony Richardson, neither of them, looked too hot down there in Indianapolis. Vikings dominate the Texans for a big win that nobody really expected. Saints came back to earth. We talked about last week. They might have been the greatest show on turf for some reason. Now it actually might be the Vikings, which, of course, if it wasn't the Saints, we knew it was going to be the Vikings coming into the year. Justin Fields might be back. Bears obviously just ruined quarterbacks. Bo Nix gets first NFL W. Andy Dalton is the GOAT, I guess. Seahawks, they beat a two-less Dolphins. That one was probably the snooze fest of the week. Ravens got a big win in Dallas to get back on track. The Rams completed a good comeback against the 49ers that almost ended in mayhem on the continuous pitches towards the end for the 49ers. Lions win the desert. These guys picked up a win. Chiefs stay perfect in Atlanta. And then, of course, at probably the very end of the show, we'll kind of talk about what happened on Monday Night Football as those two games start wrapping up as well. All right, let's go back now towards the top and just kind of get into these games, recap them a little bit. We'll kind of just go down the list one by one, talk about the games that happened this weekend. So first things first, I guess we'll start with my team. They played in the noon slate, and there was the first one, the headlines there. Packers able to go into Tennessee and take care of the Titans. Another good game from Malik Willis. No one saw it coming, but apparently he is prime Michael Vick now. He went 13 for 19 in the game, over 200 yards and a touchdown. He also was the leading rusher for the Packers. He had 6 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown. Will Levis continued to just meme himself for the Titans, threw a couple picks. There was in the fourth quarter, he had a throwdown field. I don't remember who he's looking for, but it looked like he was throwing a go route to Xavier McKinney, the Packers safety, and he just overshot him even still. And then later in the game, he just dropped one. It looked like a perfect back shoulder throw to Xavier McKinney. Just dropped it right in the bucket. So it's just bad luck if it looks like you're actually throwing routes.
Yeah, his time's coming up, right?
Yeah. No, it's I've seen some of the Titans fans on Twitter that are it doesn't really make sense to bench him, which is probably true. I don't know who their backup is, but is there really a point in benching him now at this point? Your season's pretty clearly not going to go well. The Packers just tore you apart with a backup quarterback. Shout out Matt LaFleur, another masterclass.
Yeah, no, he's been unbelievable. No, they're a god awful team. That's just, it is what it is.
I think we both said it coming into the season. They had probably floor potential of number 1 pick.
Yeah.
So
their backup's Mason Rudolph.
Oh, okay. So the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to consider him then.
Yeah. He's got
better.
Is his head still dented?
Yeah.
CTE.
Yeah. ESPN.
DeAndre Hopkins came out of retirement for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. He had some fun plays in that one for sure. But I will say, I guess I'll kind of talk Packers a little bit here for a second because, again, for those who don't know, I'm a Packers fan. But this game, I think, if anything, when Jordan Love went down in week 1, most people fairly agreeable, I understand it, thought the sky was falling in Green Bay. Packers fans and the outside media, absolute disaster central, especially right after the injury. It was we don't know how bad it is. He might have just tore his ACL. Didn't look great there initially for the Packers. Then we find out Jordan Love just sprained his MCL, but then it's that's the other thing though. Malik Willis is our backup quarterback. This is not going to go very well. But that's what we all said. I mean, every single person in national media said that it was just going to be a disaster because Malik Willis was the guy that was going to roll out for the Packers, who looked like one of the worst starting quarterbacks in NFL history for the short time that he's gotten to see some starting action. It just all things pointed to a disaster central for the Packers there for a while. But again, Jordan Love's injury wasn't as severe as we thought.
Dude, the NFL is so weird.
Back fast, and Malik Willis, I mean,
has been playing well,
playing really well. I mean, again, I think credit to Malik Willis for like playing well, but at the same time, like I'm gonna go back to the fact like he's not getting talked about as much because of what Kevin O'Connell doing with the Vikings, but Matt LaFleur has been ridiculous. With the Packers.
It's been really well. Is there any word on Love when he's?
I think most signs are pointing towards he plays next week.
Okay,
because they apparently were like kind of considering maybe even playing him this week. Again, very glad they didn't. But I mean, if he is, I'd say if he's like 90+%, I think they would roll him out. Because this is a division game against a Vikings team who is playing much better now, or way better really than we expected coming into this year. So I think if he is good to go and like there's not like any major risk of re-injury, I think you roll him out.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. But at the same time, though, do you have to? You won 2 games with Malik Willis.
Yeah,
at some points, like, hey, let's just get him. Like, make sure he's 100%. Don't rush him back. We're in
a
great
I
spot
agree.
right now.
No, that's exactly how I've been feeling. But again, division game does matter a little bit more. So if he's again in a very, very good spot, then I would think that they roll him out. But otherwise, yeah, keep him on the bench. I think if he's not gonna be playing to his full level, and again, the biggest factor there too is like risk of re-injury. Don't want to have any chance of that. So let's talk about Malik Neighbors. Crazy game from him in the Giants game. Daniel Jones also shout out, hated on him a lot. Actually played pretty well in this game too. Got saved by Neighbors a couple times for sure.
A lot.
But Malik Neighbors put up a stat line of 8 catches, 78 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I think
not the gaudiest stats.
Half.
Yeah, not the gaudiest stats, but yes, when you think about it, pretty much all came in the first half, and just his catches were just ridiculous all game long.
Well, do you see the one in the left corner where it was like
of the end zone?
He was wide open.
Yeah, and Daniel Jones
just made it such a hard, ball to get. And
he made it a circus grab.
Yeah, no, he's and we'll talk about Marv too in a little bit, but these rookie receivers are like truly ridiculous.
They're good.
Like probably best to come in since like Justin Jefferson.
Well, that's the thing. It happens every damn year now. It seems like just every single year we feel like the rookie wide receivers go crazy.
It feels like the easiest position of like, as soon as they come in, they're NFL ready. They're some of the best. I'm trying to think of other positions where it's like that. Like maybe like a star running back.
Yeah, star running back.
Saquon's
usually
first year was huge.
Yep.
But I feel like you see it with so many more receivers, right?
Yeah, for sure. The receivers always come in and dominate week in and week out. So that is really fun to see.
Do we flip it to the Browns here? I mean, you can't lose this game. I mean, I get Deshaun didn't play bad, but I think that team's too talented, around him to be losing games to the Giants.
For sure. And again, Daniel Jones and mostly Malik Neighbors did play well. Devin Singletary also, I think, has been a better acquisition for the Giants than anybody ever expected. So it was really funny. There was a Twitter interaction I saw where Saquon Barkley quote tweeted it was some post about Malik Neighbors flick from the Giants, and he put like a blue heart, and everybody was just like, imagine if these two are on the same team together. It's like, well, that could have happened, but didn't. And then also Giants fans were just salty in the comments, like being like screw you, traitor, or whatever. But the Giants said, if you watch Hard Knocks Giants fans, the Giants just were not going to pay him. So I don't really know what you're talking about. But yeah, Giants good win. Next one on the docket, Colts and Bears. Probably talk about that one a little bit. 21-16 was the final score.
Yep.
Clyde, I think I'll actually let you probably go here first. We panicking a little bit yet?
Yeah, your thoughts going into this
one? Well, I realized the issue is not Caleb. I was overreacting. Caleb's actually pretty solid. He just has to. I mean, I'm fine if he fucking ends the year with 20+ interceptions as long as he tries winning games. But I think Shane needs to be fired, and it's time to figure out Eberflus because he is not doing good.
Yeah, looking back
really
at that,
bad.
Them playing really well down the stretch of last year probably hurt them in the long run because they retained him for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
It's both Eberflus, it's the play calling,
and it's the O-line.
Well,
O-line,
we knew that
And-
going into it.
And Swift. I'd say Swift
Well,
is
I-
one of the worst.
Yeah.
So here's the thing:
That
with
was a
Swift.
bad
he's,
signing.
he's the worst.
It's just an awful signing, given that like he was good, not great with the two best O lines ever. Look what like Saquon goes to Philly and is automatically he's running for like 10 per carry.
yeah,
right.
it was only a couple million
Yes,
more.
the DeAndre Swift signing was really dumb. No, I think Caleb Williams kind of hushed the the haters a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he
I mean, he
threw
threw for 363, which
yeah, that's pretty solid for.
but to be fair,
losing a
he should
game.
do that every game. Given like they cannot run the football.
Yeah, and he also threw 50 passes. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the biggest thing with him still, I think, is decision making at some points.
yeah, he
He
needs
still takes
to-
a little too many risks, I would say.
He loves overthrowing it. Like he did it at least 4 times where I wanted to punch my TV. Where he would not overthrow it by like a couple yards. He would end up doing
The
a
one
piss
was that- which
missile
one was the
20
one?
yards over.
Was it to like Rome or who?
Yeah, it was
you know,
Rome.
yeah,
It was Rome. It was 20
he
yards.
had a step and he beat him. I think that
I mean-
shows that he's a little scared of turning the ball over because
Yeah.
he's been doing it a little too much.
Mhm.
Like whenever you keep airmailing a 50-yard pass, that typically tells me you're a little scared to
He-
underthrow it and
I mean, I'm
allow
more
the
than
DB to make a play.
I'm more than fine him just fucking piss missing everything and just try to win. I mean, I don't care if he throws interceptions, but yeah, he has to figure out something else. Rome had a really good game.
Yeah, Rome was really solid.
Yeah, he's gonna be really good. He'll be a very great replacement for Keenan right now, so I'm excited with that. DJ, he needs to catch the ball more and he needs to get more targets. So
he needs to lose the attitude too.
yeah, he's angry.
Also, but Cole Kmet had a huge game, which I think is going to be pivotal for Caleb, to succeed.
I'm getting like Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, Vietnam flashbacks where they fight in the locker room and then Brandon Marshall's going to leave again. And then we're just going to have Romo Dunze being Alshon Jeffrey.
Never know.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, I could see it happen.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with most of what you guys said. I mean, I don't think Caleb Williams is the problem. The Bears as an organization might just be cursed though, because I think
Yeah.
I think they just ruin quarterbacks.
We saw-
They do, but I think he'll still he'll be the all-time leading passing.
Yeah, no, he should. I think he will eventually, break through the roof, and they'll probably be okay. But it is still definitely concerning where it's like you're just giving this guy no chance. I mean, the probably biggest issue right now with him is like hope that he doesn't just get murdered like in
Yeah.
games because he just constantly.
Yeah, if you're getting hit
smashed,
as many times as you do, yeah.
He needs to get that CTE cap. Same with Tua.
yeah,
It's not a bad idea.
Tua needs to put on like a.
Is Tua the first quarterback to ever wear the Guardian cap?
I hope
he should,
so.
dude.
I think it'd be brain dead for him not to. Then again, he already is kind of a little.
You can give him an A-Rod bucket.
I think he's the only guy who I don't think that like social media would like clown either for wearing it.
No. I think social media would like probably celebrate him.
Yeah,
wearing
be like,
that.
hey, like wait,
It's
a-
made of
don't be clown.
glass.
Like Caleb Williams shows up next game at Guardian cap. It's the joke of Twitter for the next week and a half.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, yeah. I don't even want to get into it, but yeah,
It would be the
funny.
funniest to wear the Guardian cap.
The funniest,
the funniest to wear the Guardian cap.
Joe Flacco.
Immediately, I go to like Kyler Murray because how small he is.
Oh,
yeah.
His head would look.
Oh yeah,
huge.
bobblehead.
Yeah, he'd be.
Yeah, it'd be
bobblehead.
bobblehead.
Well, it'd probably be funny if like Colin kind of mentioned there a second ago, if A-Rod put a Guardian cap on top of like the
Yeah, the
already like bucket looking helmet.
Yeah.
That'd probably look pretty funny too.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty awesome.
that
I'd
would
like
be really
that.
funny.
I'd like that.
By the way, I think apparently Jane Daniels made a crazy play with Terry McLaurin. So
Yeah, Jane Daniels is
Commanders finally.
He's doing phenomenal,
Trying to
but
watch
I'm,
this.
So Bengals right now it's 38-26. Bengals are more than likely going to drop to 0-3. That's full panic.
Yeah, it's a good throw.
my Bears are better than Cincinnati.
Dropped it right in the
baby.
bucket, like corner of the end zone, 3rd and 7 to put the game away.
Should we just jump to that right away? Because I just said it. Bengals are going to be 0-3. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell do they do?
Yeah.
Um,
There's still technically 2 minutes left, but I mean it's over.
I
So
mean,
should have paid Jamar. Should have paid Jamar.
no, fuck
man.
Jamar.
yeah,
No.
fuck
Fuck
that.
Jamar, but they should have paid him because now they're just going to lose every fucking game, and then he's still
The
going to get
offense
paid.
was not the problem, though. I mean,
No, definitely not, but,
Burrow's
like-
having a really solid game. Jamar's playing great. He's got 6 for 118 and 2 touchdowns.
Maybe Jamar should just grow up, like just not be a little baby.
But then again, the Commanders are also pretty solid this year. Like they mean business. Ron Robinson, dog. Terry McLaurin, dog.
Yeah, Jane Daniels is having one hell of a game. 21 for
Yeah,
23,
I mean,
254.
He's insane this year.
2 touchdowns, and
Yeah.
40 on
Those
the ground
rushes,
for a
yeah.
touchdown.
Who's the
Damn.
wide receiver 2 and 3 for Commanders? Because they got rid of John Dotson.
Got rid of who? Yeah, wait.
Because I don't know why the fuck they got rid of Dotson. They gave him like 1 year. That makes zero sense.
Right now, Luke McCaffrey is being shown as their 2.
Former Husker.
He's got
Whoa.
44 yards.
Attaboy.
I don't know who their 2 would technically be considered.
How much rushing does Brian have?
I guess their
I should
2 would
find
probably
depth
be
chart.
Noah Brown.
Okay.
How many rushing yards does 2 have?
Brian.
Brian has 33 yards. He's been
What the
Austin
fuck?
Eckler has 3 for 35 though. So
Wow.
turning back the clock for 3 runs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he sucks.
He also needs a guardian caplet for his.
Also, I guess we probably should have mentioned it because this game did wrap up too, just based on recency stuff. Bills took care of the Jaguars. Final score 47-10. Josh Allen continues to just be the craziest statistical anomaly of all time, right? I mean, it's just like he's just. I'm curious to see what kind of numbers he puts up on the year for the Bills, because tonight he went 23 for 30, 263 yards and 4 touchdowns passing, and he also had 44 yards on the ground. I'm pretty sure like 95% of both of those came in the first half. So
Yeah, they're a lot better than I thought. But we were right on. If they were going to be good, he'd have to be Superman, and he is.
he's Superman.
He's going to like just easily win the MVP, right?
I think so. I mean, if this keeps up, assuming he stays healthy,
He has to.
Yeah. I mean, his game last week wasn't stellar, but I mean, they still got the job done.
Does Peterson get fired?
Yeah, I think that's definitely gonna be a question that starts flying, because I feel like they're probably don't want to have the Trevor Lawrence conversation yet, which is also like, yes, he hasn't been great, but he also hasn't necessarily been bad, I feel like, for most of his career.
I don't know. I think we are maybe babying him a little too much.
Yeah, definitely. But Peterson would definitely go first before they got rid of Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, 100%.
They should
Funny
just
Mac
keep
Jones came in the game.
Yeah. It's like,
Little tubby. Little tubby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Peterson makes it out of this year.
yeah, probably a good chance of that, unless they turn things around in a hurry.
I'm not kidding you. I think he might get fired tonight.
Yeah, I think I could see it. Yeah, it's not out of the picture by any means. By the way, just a FYI for I guess you too, my laptop is officially dead, so
Oh, sweet.
I'm gonna be rocking with the phone.
I could
Phone
take my
right now,
computer
but-
if needed.
Yeah, we'll switch around things next commercial break. But for now, let's keep going with the NFL. Obviously, we just talked about the Monday night games. But let's turn back again to Sunday. Let's talk about Vikings Texans, because the Vikings apparently
Starting to piss me off, man.
are.
They're supposed to lose by now.
Yeah,
Sam
no,
Darnold.
I'm getting a little bit worried there with the Vikings, because this is now 3 weeks in a row where Sam Darnold's played good. 3 weeks in a row where, I mean, I guess back-to-back weeks now where they beat 2 of the best rosters on paper in the league. Obviously, the Niners were a little bit banged up, but still, I mean, things are starting to get a little real, I think, for the whole Minnesota thing.
This has to stop, though, right?
I don't know. It's so hard to say, because, I mean, again, like we look at the Saints. I mean, we were both like, this feels like this has to stop, but what if it doesn't? It did stop this week. Like they finally came back to earth a little bit. But I don't know yet with the Vikings. Like maybe there is a chance that this team is going to be competitive.
So there's a few factors here to take into effect, right? Aaron Jones has been healthy and really good.
He's doing great.
The chances of him doing that for a 17-game season, I think we'd all agree is pretty
It's impossible.
slim.
Yeah.
And what does this team look like without, Aaron Jones playing really good football?
Yeah.
2, can Justin Jefferson stay healthy? And Sam Darnold has to regress like a little bit, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think he continues to play like a borderline MVP level for sure. But if he even plays though at like a top, maybe 15 level, I mean, they should at least be a lot more competitive than we expected.
I mean, they're already 3-0. Like it's not like this team's going to only win 6 games.
They'll playoff push.
I think they'll definitely be in the wild card hunt. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be in the wild
I
card
mean,
round.
dude,
I think this, unfortunately for Bears fans, probably
Yeah,
pushes them to probably guaranteed last spot.
I don't even give a shit anymore. I would just be one thing. I do fucking hate the Vikings, but the most beautiful Cinderella story would be Sam Darnold holding up a little MVP trophy. Now,
That's
that'd
like
be
the one thing
insane.
about the Vikings
be
that
insane.
I can get behind is that like I do kind of like Sam Darnold succeeding.
Yeah, he
Never really had like reason to dislike him. I just feel bad for the guys that like were with the Jets, like Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson. Like if either of those guys like succeed, I would have no problem with. Also, like Darnold was with the Panthers too.
We're forgetting about like the
Yeah.
biggest one, Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Left
Yeah.
Seahawk
Geno.
was really fun for a little bit.
throw me out.
Now everybody I don't really think gives a rat's ass about Geno Smith.
He didn't write back.
I didn't write back.
Yeah, he didn't write back, but he had a funny year and two there.
He's still doing good.
Yeah, he's been
Still
okay
doing
this
good.
year. I mean,
Still doing good.
last year he definitely regressed, but
Yeah, but I'm
Played
saying
like
that
shit,
first
yeah.
year where they were
Yeah.
like holy shit, like Geno
yeah,
Smith is
Geno
such-
Smith's really
I'm
good.
saying that's kind of fallen off. I don't think anybody's
Yeah.
really caring to like tune in to Geno Smith, football games.
No, for sure. But yeah, no,
Then there's going to be a regression, but I think this team's just a lot better than we thought.
yeah, I think at this point they probably win like 8 or 9 games, and I think they will be towards the playoffs a little bit. But again, I just don't know how to that level it can hold up. Texans just a bad day, I guess.
yeah.
Just not really anything going right for them today.
The
or
Bears
yesterday.
broken.
So
Glad you want to touch that AC for us.
I don't think that
It's hot as shit in here.
I don't think the Texans like really have anything to worry about. I think it's just a weird, just kind of fluke game a little bit. So
Yeah, I mean we see them.
I mean, they only
It's the
scored,
NFL, like fluke games like that happen.
They only
every
scored a
single year.
touchdown, right?
I didn't realize when we looked at Jaden Daniels' stats earlier, but he has more touchdowns than incompletions. So that's awesome.
That's ridiculous.
3 touchdowns, 2 incompletions. So that's pretty crazy.
Shit.
Shout out. He's been by far the best rookie quarterback already.
Yeah, he's
so,
rookie of the year.
and this is just, I mean, I'm curious to see what the odds are tomorrow, or maybe even tonight on the rookie of the year, because obviously Caleb's put up some big passing yards, but he turned the ball over a lot.
Yeah, it's not looking good for him.
So
I don't think he'll put up the touchdowns to win.
Daniels,
No,
Williams.
Williams.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, I don't think that.
I think
His
Caleb
touchdown, and then
Williams will
paired with
clear
the
his day,
turnovers, too.
probably lead with yards. Like I don't think that'll even be close because of how much they're going to ask him to pass the ball.
Well, and how much Jaden Daniels runs the ball too.
Yeah, but I think Jane Daniels. I mean, how many touchdowns is possible? Is 40
Yeah.
crazy?
Like total
Total.
rushing and
Total.
passing,
I think 40 is like it's
Like
definitely high, but it's possible.
definitely high. Yeah, but
like
it's
30,
not
like 30 and 10.
completely out of the realm.
I'm thinking closer to 20 and 20.
Holy shit.
20 and 20.
2020 be fucking
Jesus.
nuts.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, dude,
20 rushing touchdowns is a
How many
lot.
do you have?
But it's like I don't.
Can you look that
We're
up?
also coming off like a weird year too, so it's kind of harder to like. Honestly, in the past like 5 or 6 years, not counting last year, that wouldn't have seemed like as crazy. But just coming off last year, where quarterbacks didn't throw a lot of touchdowns last year, I feel like we didn't talk about that a lot. But like Jordan Love was like second or third in the league. I think he had like 30 or 31, and like I think Dak maybe led it with like 34 or 35. I mean, some other years that was like 10th in the league, which is just really weird.
Yeah.
Just weird drop off. I don't know.
Yeah, the Vikings though. I'm looking at FanDuel. They're the only line they have right now is MVP. Vikings have snuck into the second best odds to win that division.
Really over the Packers.
Yes,
That's crazy.
Packers are only plus 290.
That's very odd after seeing them go
yeah, and the Bears are
2-0
plus 1,000.
without Jordan Love. I don't know. It's kind of a weird.
Yeah.
weird
Oh, I think so
feeling,
too. The only thing, like, it's all like neck and neck. So
Yeah.
Lions lead at 145, Vikings at 195, Packers at 290. And
That's almost weirder that they're closer to the line than they are to the Packers.
yes, I would agree.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Weird.
think, but then again, though, I think that's one loss. And that's different, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Packers and Vikings play this week, so we'll talk about that more on Thursday, obviously. But I mean, big game, obviously, early in the season for both those teams. All right.
How do they not have odds for that though?
For
Over
what?
DraftKings for rookie of the year.
Oh, for rookie of the year. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you can check that. I don't know if you've ever seen the one like it's Vegas
Like MGM,
Vegas Insider or something like that, where it shows you like all the books lines. I don't know. That's usually where I find them, but again, my computer's dead, so I'm not gonna try.
Yeah, I
to get
guess
my
Daniels
phone,
is 3
but-
for 3 with rushing touchdowns. So keep that pace going.
Wait, how many rushing
He has
touchdowns?
3 total of the year right now. He had 2 week
One a
one,
game.
and then
One a
he
game.
one
Yeah,
today.
20 is pretty high, probably.
Yeah, I mean he could hit 15.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's a week he can get 2 or 3. Multiple weeks, I think.
Yeah, but then he
two or
also has
three.
he also has to continue to score every
Yeah.
week too.
I could see him hitting 15.
I said 40 was like crazy.
No, yeah, it is crazy.
I think
Like I'm not saying he's going to get to 40. I think 30 is going to be pretty easy for him.
20 and 10. Yeah, that's pretty cake. Should
Yeah.
be able to do it.
Yeah, no.
Again, I
that's
think it'd be
very
closer to
realistic.
15 and 15. I think he's going to have a rushing touchdown almost every single game.
It should.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Okay, yeah, Jaden Daniels really good. Let's move forward, I guess. Eagles and Saints. Again, we mentioned Saints came back down to earth a little bit. They only scored 12 points in this one after scoring 91 in the first 2 weeks. So Eagles win by a final score of 15-12. Honestly, I think the biggest story in this game is that
Jane Daniels is plus 150.
is Williams the second or who's second?
He's
Marv.
fourth.
Marv and Neighbors both in front of him.
Neighbors and Marv are pretty much tied for second,
Okay.
third, and then Caleb Williams is almost plus 1,000 already. So
Well, what I was getting to though with the Eagles there, Are we like a little worried about Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
Because
He's not very good.
I don't think he's very good.
No, he's not. He never has been, by the way.
No, I know that's the thing where it's like I feel like I've been one of the biggest like pushers of that Jalen Hurts isn't a very good quarterback, and it's like I don't know. Like I mean, you go to his box score, doesn't look good. Like he lost a fumble, threw a pick, no touchdowns. But
Well,
even that, if you watch the game at all, I think he was still worse even than the box score showed.
I think he was incredibly beefed up from fantasy football
Mhm.
because obviously tush push, it was guaranteed typically a rushing touchdown a game. He's not very good, and the problem with him too is he's been around long enough where the boneheaded mistakes he makes, like it's time for those to those aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Again, like we watch Caleb Williams maybe make bad decisions that lead to picks. All right, he's played 2 games, right? That'll change, hopefully.
It's like Josh Allen too. Like he had like an entire season of it, but like his second season, he took a massive leap right away.
There's no leap with him.
No, I haven't seen him get better at all. Really, I mean,
and it's not like the talent around him is poor. It's arguably the best in the league.
No, if anything, like from this point on in his career, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah,
because there's no way they're going to be able to pay everybody forever. Like Goddard's a top 10 tight end in the league.
Devontae's probably the best number 2 in the league.
AJ Brown's top 10. Devontae, you could probably argue is top 15. Like Saquon's a top 5 probably running back.
And you have one of the better O lines.
And one of the better O lines, yes. So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do long term because I don't know. They really haven't looked super great this year. I mean, best game of their season so far has been the Packers game, which that game they actually I feel like did play fairly well. That game was also just messy too.
That game was messy. It was an awful, field.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
We'll see though. I still think they're probably favored right now to win that division though because Cowboys have looked
frauds.
Yeah.
Also Saints I think is still gonna be fun. They weren't necessarily like really bad in this game because the Eagles still have a good defense. But just a couple things that went wrong for them there at bad times. That big Goddard play right at the end of the game just killed them. I mean, they had the game in hand till that play. So yeah. All right. Let's hit one more and then we'll go to a break and then come back and finish up the rest. Let's talk about Bo Nix. First NFL win. Finally looked like a little bit the guy that we saw in preseason and the guy that the Broncos hoped that they drafted. He went 25 for 36, 216 yards, didn't throw any touchdowns, but he did rush for 1 on the ground, had 9 carries for 47 yards, took care of the ball. We all know that the Broncos have a good defense. They really limited Tampa Bay, forced Baker Mayfield into some mistakes. So, I mean, if Bo Nix can do this for the season with the Broncos, I think they actually might not be too bad.
No, I mean, he also figured it out. Like he used his legs a lot more, which was big. But yeah, no, this is all you have to do. That defense is great. I mean, when was the last time Mike Evans got limited to 2 catches?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Pat Surtain effect.
That hurt the fantasy team.
I sat him, luckily. Didn't matter, though. My team just shit the bed.
Who are we playing?
I was playing you.
Shit.
Yeah. And then some other headlines here, I would say, from this game, because obviously I don't think there's much to talk about with the Broncos. If they can find a way to do this, they'll obviously be a better team. Rashad White's probably the number 2 going forward, right?
Yeah.
Bucky Irving just looks so much better.
Yes. Bucky Irving, very, very good.
So
he balled up.
Great waiver wire move by me in week 1. Stashed him pretty much every league, so good news for me.
Couldn't in the other league. I drafted him. I had the vision. This is one of those sloppy games. I'm not gonna think much of it. I still think the Bucs are a really good team. I still think the Broncos aren't great, but this showing proves that they can win now maybe a few more games than we think.
Yep, for sure. And then I guess just if anybody was curious, the score of mine and Weezy's matchup is 137-76. I just figured you guys probably want to know that.
I mean, injury bugs hit me a little bit.
Yeah, it's hurting.
I ran 2 tight ends. Both had great matchups.
It's too bad. You were probably the best team in the league the first 2 weeks, so borderline.
I think it was. I mean, Cooper Kupp going down sucked. Couldn't play Mike Evans on purpose because going up against Surtain, no chance. And then I'm almost going to tie this into another game. I have, Kyler Murray, McBride pairing. So let's just jump right into that game via that. Detroit's defense is legit, I think, compared to years prior. Like they gave up, I think they gave up to 800 yards to Nick Mullins last year in 2 games. I don't think that's like inaccurate too. Clyde, you can look that up. I know it's high 700s at least. I mean, this Arizona team absolutely smashed the Rams last week. They couldn't really do much.
Yeah. No, it was a good game from the Lions. Definitely what you wanted to see after I mean, let's just face it, poor showing the week before. I know you said like there was definitely opportunities for the Lions to win that game, but they just didn't play up to par at all. So good bounce back win for sure. I mean, as a just Jahmyr Gibbs fantasy owner, little concerning how many carries David Montgomery's still getting. But I mean, they still use him in off. That ladder hook and ladder play was awesome.
Yeah, that was nice.
That made all of America come.
Ben Johnson's fucking sick. I mean,
Yeah.
that guy can coach. So
I mean, in effect, it was just ran so perfectly.
Yeah. No, it was beautiful execution. Yeah.
One of the better plays I've ever seen with my eyes. I mean, yeah, David Montgomery's a freak. I don't think it's knock on wood. He just takes hits after hits and he laughs. He enjoys contact. He's a psychopath like that.
Yeah.
And then the other play where they like picked him up and they like actually the entire team picked him up and carried him 6 yards. That's awesome. This team's really good. I still don't think they're at their full potential offensively. I think Jared Goff needs to be a lot better. I think Ben Johnson's also a little lost with the amount of like talent he has.
Yeah, like doesn't know where to put the ball.
He tries to get a little too cute, maybe way too much. When like the identity of this team should be, all right, well, we should open up with David Montgomery. When they can't stop the run, that's when the full playbook gets opened. It feels like they kind of get away from him a little too much, which I also understand. You drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, who's a freak, so you feel the need to get him the ball too.
Yeah. Also, the one that's also still really kind of confusing and disappointing is like you like to see Sam Laporta, I think, more involved eventually. Like
he had a bigger game. I mean, he only caught 2 passes.
2 passes, yeah, but that's the thing. He's just not getting targeted very much. It's
and the weird thing was Brock Wright had 4,
and that's where I think too. Like you kind of mentioned the maybe almost getting too cute at times. Like Sam Laporta is definitely like good enough where you could run him in like a Kelsey, Kansas City type offense where it's just like let him just go pick a zone to sit down and just hit him for easy pickups constantly all game. You could do that.
No
problem.
I think we hit on. I think Ben Johnson's kind of in over his head a little bit. It's also tough though because you have a guy like Amon-Ra who like just going out there on a Sunday is probably guaranteed to get like 12 to 14 targets.
Yeah.
So then it's like, where do we disperse him elsewhere? Because obviously last year he was a clear number 2, but now it's also like this year. Okay, Jameson Williams clearly took the stride we were looking for him to do last year, but he did it this year. So do we take away from Laporta's targets? Okay, well, now we also have a great playmaker and Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield. What do we want to do with that? It's just, at the end of the day, it'll come. But the thing you have to do, though, is just run to David Montgomery.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's maybe we'll take a quick break. We'll get to our 1-minute commercial here. And then when we come back, we can, get into the rest of the NFL slate. And then again, we still have our Rock Hard Bets update coming. Our Rock Hard Takes, Kelly Kinky rankings, all that good stuff. And then again, another reminder, check out the socials at Rock Hard Ball or at Rock Hard Ball Pod on everything that's scrolling across the bottom there: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, all that good stuff. So make sure you check it out. But again, listen to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at Culture Ball Dogs. We'll be right back. Why don't you hit it?
Oh shit.
I
forgot computer's dead. My bad.
I got a trade notification in fantasy, which seemed important.
Where's it at?
I'll hit it.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't have it up at all. My bad.
Oh my
Spaced out.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12-plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College Football Dogs, for the fans.
I don't know about all of us. Welcome back to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at Culture Ball Dogs. Again, make sure you check out the website, cultureballddogs.com.
Rays out here in the commercial break.
Yeah, we just got straight in the commercial break. We were talking about Kyler Murray and if he's even tall enough to throw. And then Colin mentioned that all of us have to be taller than him. Don't know if the Weezy man is, unfortunately. But let's finish up with our recap here. Shout out to Clyde passing over the computer here so I can kind of see what's going on with the stream, since these guys fell asleep at the wheel here and couldn't hit a commercial as soon as my laptop dies.
Sleepy.
But all right, other games that we haven't gotten to yet. Andy Dalton is the GOAT, apparently. And also trouble for Bryce Young, right? I mean, we blamed a lot of it on the Panthers organization. Now it's tough to do that after Andy Dalton comes out with that.
I think both are true, but also Andy Dalton just like turned back the clock and just sling that thing. He made some unbelievable throws. So no, I don't think Carolina's now a good team with Andy Dalton.
No.
I think it was more just like the juice of like, okay, I get to go in here, just
We
zero expectations.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't think he even like wants another job. Like I think he actually is probably to the point where he kind of just wants to just be the backup and just not have to play to a point. And then when he does get in, he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go throw, just see what happens, I guess. But no, Bryce Young definitely.
Yeah, what's the move now? Do you maybe see if like, because obviously,
I mean, they said they're going to roll him back out there again at some point this year.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
Next
okay,
year.
so you roll Andy Dalton for the next 2 weeks. You continue to, I'm not going to say win games, but like be in games. Andy Dalton's playing well. It's probably going to be it for Bryce Young in Carolina, right?
No, I
think you just have to admit, it's like, yeah,
or just
we missed.
bench him for the season. Just have Andy Dalton. Just
I feel like that's just a waste of time though.
That's
at that
a
point,
big
like
waste of time.
I feel like, yeah, you give him a couple weeks, whatever, get his head right, roll him back out there. If he plays, at least decent, like at least shows like some sign of significant growth, then yes, you roll him out again next year and try a full year. And then if you bench him again next year, then it's done. But again, on the other hand, if you bring him back out, he continues to suck. You bench him again this year, bring Andy Dalton back, and Andy Dalton just continues to just play in a different league than Bryce Young, then you just have to be like, all right, Andy, you go out there. Excuse me, sorry. You go out there, do what you want, try and ball out. But I swear to God, if you win games, we're gonna be pissed because if Bryce Young continues to play bad, you have to just go get another quarterback, because that's what this league is now. If you don't get the quarterback right within that first couple of years, you got to just restart.
And I'm not going to write off Bryce Young's career.
No,
I am going to write off his Carolina Panthers career. But like you look at guys like Baker Mayfield, he's found a home in Tampa. So no, I'm not. But I do think his time in Carolina's it's over with.
Again, I do think they're gonna try me in this year. So if he somehow comes out way better, then maybe that would be the last chance. But yeah, no, if they do roll him again and he continues to do what he was doing before, then yes, he will be done, I think. So
yeah.
Okay. Ravens Cowboys. Expected to be one of the biggest games of the week. The Ravens just dominated that. I mean, the score was 28-25, but that was kind of just a late effort by Dallas trying to get back in the game. That just didn't end up really coming to fruition. I think the Ravens kind of refound their identity a little bit, which is just run the shit out of the ball, play good defense, and you'll win ball games. So
I mean, Derrick Henry at 25 for 151 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, we talked about turning back the clock. He did it. And it's like, I mean, if you're the Ravens, like obviously the best situation that you could be in is if you don't need Lamar Jackson to go full MVP mode and you can win games. Like he just played a really, really efficient, clean game. Didn't do anything super crazy. I mean, I'm not going to downplay it too much. Still a really good game. He had over like nearly 300 total yards, a couple touchdowns, didn't turn the ball over. But yeah, if Derrick Henry can do this still at this age and be this productive on the ground, I mean, you ride that as far as you can.
Yeah, you have to.
Cowboys, on the other hand, I think are in big trouble. That run defense is one of the worst probably in NFL history.
That's brutal. CeeDee Lamb, I mean, lack of targets and catches is getting concerning. Can't really run the ball. They don't have a true guy. Rico Dowdle's not great. Could they still win the division?
The division might be bad enough that they could. Again, we still think that the Eagles are probably the favorite there. But yeah, I don't know. The Cowboys are so weird because again, there is so much talent still on the roster that you would think that at some point they would turn around a little bit. But I feel like something that we probably also didn't talk about enough in the offseason and as we got into this season is like the Cowboys defense has been like really good the past couple of years. And like a big part of that is the turnover margin that they were forcing the past few years. That's not like ever like guaranteed like in football. Like that's a lot of that is like just luck and weird things like that. Like the Packers forced, I think they had 7 picks all of last season. They have like 6 or 7 through 3 games this year. Turnovers, yes, it can matter to the system a little bit. By the way, shout out Jeff Hafley. We didn't really talk about him at all, but Packers defense been much improved under him. But if the turnovers aren't coming for the Cowboys, then I don't think that they're that great of a defense.
No,
So that's just what they
Correct.
did best the
Yes.
past few years, and now they aren't doing it. So if they can't, then I don't know where they go on defense.
I mean, look at their playoffs.
It's torn apart.
They get torn apart because they aren't turning the ball over.
Mhm.
No, I'm not going to go full blown panic. They also face a 0-2 Ravens team who obviously needed a win,
Yep.
and
They're hungry.
they're hungry. But at some point, they have to start looking like the Cowboys, and they have not all year.
Yeah, I mean it's also at home too, though, where it's like, I mean, I don't care how hungry the Ravens are. You also kind of needed to win. Like, you got embarrassed by the Saints the week before that. You would think you would come out with a little bit of a vengeance at a home game too, but I don't know. I mean, I did expect the Ravens to win this game, but still, just not kind of in the way that they did it. That was the more concerning thing, I think, for the Cowboys, just how you lost. Not
And
the fact that
also,
you lost.
shout out Brandon Aubrey. He's
Yeah,
a freak.
yeah, that guy's crazy. Maybe the Cowboys should just let him just like kick every possession.
As soon as they get to the 40,
Yeah,
just bombs away. All right,
just roll them out
Rob
there.
3-0, baby. Let's go.
Mhm.
Get that ball back.
That's what the Bears should do.
Well, your
Carlos
kicker
Santos.
can't hit from like 56. He has to have the
He did. He just
What did he-
he
what did he
missed
miss?
one. He missed one field goal.
Yeah, where was that from?
It was like 54, but he made it.
He missed it short.
Brandon
I'm saying every
Aubrey-
single kicker. in, like,
Brandon
the
Aubrey just
league-
also made like a 70-yarder that didn't count. So
I'm just saying every single kicker in the league. It feels like anything within 50. It's not even a question of whether their leg can get there.
Yeah.
I think Cairo is like the only guy where it's like you get to like 57, 58, 59. You don't know if he can get it there.
probably not. Great kicker though.
But yes,
He was very good
within
last year. Very
within
good last year.
55, he's very good.
Yeah, he was
But-
good last year.
which in the past is like all you could ask for.
Yeah, but now it's like we're in an era where like 50-yarders are like layups.
I need me a Eddie Pinheiro. Bring him home.
Yeah, probably not.
Bring back Robbie Gold.
Robbie good as
Oh,
gold,
dude,
baby.
Robbie's the man. Yeah, he'll forever be a Bear.
Which is even crazier too. Is like if you did bring back prime Robbie Gold right now, he probably is like maybe a top 12 kicker in the league. I think he's like top
pretty
5.
good.
If that.
He's still
Yeah.
pretty good.
I mean, also we were talking about the game too. Justin Tucker, is he officially washed?
yeah, that's weird. That's weird fall off. Kickers are good for so long, and he's still not that old. So it is just very odd how.
Yeah, I mean, you see
all of a
him
sudden
missing
bad
from
he
like
is.
46. You're like, what the hell is going on right now?
No, it's definitely a little weird, maybe borderline concerning. But yeah, I mean, he's 34, which again by
That's
kicker's ages is like that's like 28 at any
I
other
mean, like
position.
Vinatieri was like what, like 42 when he retired.
I don't know. Yeah, his kickers are all super old.
He had to have been older. He'd
Maybe.
maybe 44.
He was just fully
Jesus.
gray when he retired.
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know.
I mean, Prater for Arizona. He's got
Honestly,
he's got
reminds-
he's got
he
close
is
to 40,
old.
right? Prater.
Yeah, it has to be. It reminds me actually a little bit of you guys remember like Steven Gostkowski, like for the Patriots for a few years,
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
ridiculous, and then all of a sudden he got
just fell
really
off.
bad.
Yeah, that's like the thing. They're either really good for very long or like they have a ridiculous peak for 4 to 5 years, which that has to be like a head thing, right?
Mental.
Mental.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, a lot of kicking is mental, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much it plays into
Yeah.
just
Matt
like,
Prater
in
is
terms of career
exactly
length.
40 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird for sure. I guess we'll move to the next game. I think we only have 2 left, if I'm remembering correctly. Rams Niners. I guess we kind of already mentioned it earlier, but Rams pick up the win, get a little bit of a late fourth quarter rally, kick that field goal to basically win it. 49ers though almost made it happen there in that last play. They had the pitches going.
Yep.
Just one bad toss from that lineman on that last pitch. Was what kind of
Who
did it
got
for him.
popped?
Yeah,
Do you remember who got popped?
it's a Debo.
I
Was
think
it
it
was it Ayuk?
I think it was Ayuk.
was
Yeah, because then he got
Level.
then he got pissed on the sideline and
Yeah.
started freaking out.
Yep.
That was bad.
But yeah, that was a crazy end to that game. Shout out to the Rams again, team that really needed to win. Niners also now too. It's like I get that they're banged up, but a little bit of trouble I think there too. It's like
Yeah, it's definitely maybe some, the panic alarm. But again, they're almost too banged up. We're like, we obviously
It's-
know
it's
that's
tough to
not the
blame
nine.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't have the best running back. They don't have arguably the best tight end.
Debo didn't play either. Did
Debo didn't play either.
Oh wait, yeah, he's still hurt.
Shout out to Juwan Jennings who
Juwan
turned
Jennings.
into super
Holy
fan.
shit! Yeah,
Yeah,
45 like fantasy points.
I think it was like 47.
Yeah,
He was a freak.
God.
Then they also had the chance to put it away. Michigan guy Ronnie Bell couldn't squeeze it. He's had a very rough start to his career.
then finally Chiefs Falcons on Sunday night. Of course, I feel like every single time we ever recap a Chiefs game, it's like everybody's mad that there wasn't a call at the 10th in the game, but the Chiefs just continue to find a way to win. I mean, like Mahomes said at the end of the game, he's like, we're still like not playing our best football, but hey, we're winning. And that's just kind of what it feels like at this point with the Chiefs. It's like even when it feels like they're just not playing good football, Travis Kelce finally came alive a little bit towards the end of this one, but I mean, he hasn't played well this year, or at least hasn't been like really involved too much. Mahomes has arguably had one of the probably worst, maybe not the worst. I don't really know off the top of my head, but like definitely one of the lower starts to a season in his career. And they're still 3-0. So it's like, I don't know what the hell we do with the Chiefs anymore. It's like,
they don't
at the end of the day, it's
back.
come down
Mahomes has been turning over the ball, and they're just winning.
It's just going to come down to probably luck at the end of the day. Somebody's just going to have to catch them on a very bad day in the playoffs and just hope that something breaks their way. Because right now it just feels like that they are just unbeatable year in and year out. And I mean, we're fully into Dynasty Patriots mode, where it's just like,
it's just demoralizing.
Like when is somebody going to beat them? It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So we'll see. Not a bad performance though from the Falcons either. Kirk did turn the ball over once. Also nearly turned it over a couple more times. He had a couple fumbles that they ended up getting back. But also there's when Bijan just kicked it out of bounds. That was pretty funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
it's kind of funny. We'll see if the Falcons can bounce back. They dropped to 1-2 now. Yeah, that'll probably do it though for the NFL recap. So next thing that we can get into before we go to like rock hard takes, Kelly's Kinky rankings, let's go ahead and take a look at this week's rock hard bets update. So it's not entirely accurate because I made this before the show. But as of the time that it was made, we both, or I was 3-2, Weezy was 3-3, but now we now know Bengals wasn't yellow because it wasn't decided yet. Obviously that did not hit. They ended up losing outright. So, bad pick by me there. So pretend that one's red, pretend that asterisk is gone. So I'm 12-11, Weezy's 14-9. We both continue to not really be able to get out of the 500 club. I think this is 3 weeks in a row now that we've both gone 3-3.
Yeah.
So continue to do better in college.
It's also just like bad losses.
Yeah.
Like look at you take Kansas State -7, which I really like that pick. They get throttled. I take Texans -2. Cinderella's got to stop. They get throttled. I will say I have the most just bad beat of the day.
Yeah.
Baylor money line. I mean, how do you let a team throw like 3 Hail Marys and finally catch one?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's brutal.
Bengals -7 also felt really good. Felt like they really needed to win. A young Commanders team on prime time. Felt like, good time for Joe Shiesty to come out there and make something happen. Didn't hit. I mean, my least confident one of the week was Chargers +1.5 because Steelers just feel like they win those games, and of course they did. But if Herbert doesn't get hurt, who knows?
Yep.
The game's a little different.
I was also confident in Boston College, red bandana game.
Yep.
Michigan State, I'll finally give them props. They might be a little bit better. I mean, Boston College still won the game. I think they only won by like 4, maybe, though.
But
so I'll give them props. I think they're better, but back-to-back weeks of betting on Boston College, and nothing.
Tough. Okay, so that's just that quick overview. Next, though, we will go to Rock Hard Takes.
Bone up, folks. It's time for Rock Hard Takes.
All right, welcome back. We got Rock Hard Takes coming up here. Unfortunately, I forgot to get the Rock Hard Takes graphic in here, and I can't upload it as we go because my laptop is dead, as you guys maybe remember from earlier in the show. So I guess won't be on the screen, but we can tell you what it is. It is, what is it? I forgot.
Worst places to take a shit.
Worst places to take a shit. Yeah, okay. So again, for any of you guys out there that are here still listening, you always know that there's some bad times to need to take a deuce, and it's always tough. Also, Kobe, I had a charger. I guess I'll address this really quick. For some reason, my laptop just is not charging right now. So let's hope that's not a long-term issue. That would really be a tough look. But yeah, everybody's been there. Got a shit, and you're just in a place that you just don't want to do it. It sucks. So we'll go through, give our picks on it, and then we'll get moving forward. Do you know who has one on?
I have no idea.
Okay, so what did we do last time? Let's backtrack here.
Oh, I do remember. Parents' Lies.
Yes.
Who had the 1-1?
I did, because I took fictional creatures.
Yes. Okay. See, like, I don't have a single list. We just created this topic. I don't know if this should go 1-1. I'm just going to say a porta potty.
Okay.
Shitting in a porta potty is brutal.
It's kind of nice, though, sometimes.
I actually don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I I don't know. I get why you take it 1-1.
It stinks.
Yeah.
It is really gross.
It sucks. It
so
does suck
gross.
really.
It is really gross.
It does suck really bad. Like if it's like hot out and stuff like that, because that just makes it all worse. But
Yeah, they're saying bad pick. I despise it. It's like my least favorite place, but oh well.
yeah. My 1-1. I will go with this is like almost like a little bit of a combo in terms of like the timing too. But I'm gonna go like stadium. Like stadium bathrooms to begin with are usually pretty gross.
You can't shit there.
You don't want to miss the game. The line is egregiously long, and like especially if you just like really shit. Like, God hope that you don't shit your pants. I mean, I feel like that kind of goes like I'll just go stadium in general too, because like concerts or like sporting events, like same thing. That's just a really tough place and time to need to drop one. So not great. Second one I'll go with is pretty niche because I feel like this happens a lot in Lincoln. But bars that just don't have like a stall like at all. I swear to God, every single college bar in Lincoln just does not have stall doors.
Well, if you shit at the bar,
I don't really want
you
to
are
shit at the bar to
gross
begin
human
with,
being.
but I just want to take it one step further and like add that in there because that would just be even worse. Especially like they also all just seem to face at the door directly. So it's just like, don't shit there. You had to go find somewhere else. Like it's literally just not even possible. So it's the next one I'll go with.
Oh, shit here.
I have done that. I have come to this very building to take.
It's kind of like a wide category, but it's not really. I'm gonna go with like a friend's apartment that you don't really know, or like a friend of a friend's apartment, or like a friend's girlfriend's apartment that you don't like first time being there. Like, ooh, I might have to wreak havoc in here.
Yep.
Very uncomfortable situation to be put in. And then for my next one, I'm just gonna say outside. Any place outdoors.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Somebody, it could be kind of magical though.
I've never.
Have you guys ever shit outside?
I've never done.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
I mean, I grew up in small town North Dakota. We go hunting and stuff like that. Like, I never was a fan of it, but I mean, it was basically my dad would just say like, I'm not taking you to go to the bathroom, so you're just gonna go or just get like, I don't know, shit yourself, I guess. So
What you wipe your ass with leaves.
it kind of was available. I mean, we usually had toilet paper with in the truck because
Smart call.
we knew it was gonna happen. But
What, just like dig a hole?
Huh?
Just like dig a hole.
I'm just gonna fucking squat in the weeds and drop one.
That's insane.
So
I could do like an upper decker in a tree, but man, that'd be bad. Can't imagine that.
Why would anybody climb a tree to take a shit?
Upper decker. I mean, dude, it'd be better than just fucking squatting down. You're like, oh, poop's touching my ass now. Depends
how low are you sitting on the ground? I'm not sitting on the
Dude,
ground.
I feel like depending how long the shit is, like
You're just doing a squat.
You might be there for a while. Like, say it's really fucking bad. Like your legs slowly start giving out. You're sitting your own shit. Like, imagine that.
I think if I felt my legs giving out, I'd probably just like
Roll over.
lean forward.
Yeah. I don't know.
Except
I don't know, but there'd be a move you would have to maneuver to not,
Yeah.
fall on your own fucking shit.
yeah. Yeah.
Pardon the language.
Got a couple picks coming in here. Kobe said field shit on the farm, kind of what we were just discussing there. Actually, I was going to use this one for my next pick.
Well, you can use
So
it.
I'm going to use it. House party. What Cash said here, it is a terrible place to have to take a shit. I'm just not going to shit there. I'll just leave and go somewhere else to go to the bathroom because that's just worst case scenario. Especially it's like if there's like a line and it's like usually the line inside the house for the bathroom is mostly girls. It's like if you wait in line there and then you go in there
You
for
go there
more
for
than like a minute and you come out and it's just reaching a shit, like I don't think you ever live it down. So
That's when you just have to like have pride coming out of there. Be like, oh,
yeah, no, that's when you really gotta play it off. And then Kobe's kind of agreeing with the hunting one, especially when you're looking at a big buck. Not good. Jason again with the hunting one, duck blind, having to pull the waders down. Kobe said funeral home, a mid wedding, and the ski lodge. All right, so those are some other comments. I guess I'll go with my other pick though first. I'm gonna go with airplane. I feel like it's a classic one.
never taken one.
Super tight in there.
It's cool.
If you had some turbulence and stuff too.
Well, that's
be
the
brutal.
like ultimate one
And then-
too, where it's like if you're in there for longer than 2 minutes,
Again, it's just
the
like
entire plane.
the entire
knows that
plane
you
knows
just
that you
did.
just shit, and it's like everybody like hates you. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'll go with. All right, you got two more.
You can throw the flag on this one if this one's too much, but I almost just like any like store or anything that you just know it's gonna be like one ply.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I feel like that you taking that also can't take other things off the board, if that makes sense. But like,
Yeah,
but I do like get what you're saying. Like just one ply in general.
just like a place where you know it's going to
Just
be
one
just like
ply.
the worst toilet paper you've ever used.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna go grandparents' house.
Okay.
It's just such an outdated bathroom. Feel bad, especially if it's a nasty one.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I just always felt uncomfortable, you know.
I don't know if I
It-
experienced that one quite as much, but I can see where you're coming from.
Okay.
So, Kobe also said, I don't think I'd even fit in the plain bathroom 6'5", by the way. So, shout out Kobe. Okay, so I'll go same thing for you. Then will you throw the red flag if I take one of these that was already said in the comments again?
No.
Okay.
They're there for a reason.
I'm gonna go ski lodge.
See,
It is brutal when you're all bundled up, like get your snow pants on, long johns, winter jacket. You got your ski boots on that are just impossible. Like get stuff like your pants down around them to be even
They
begin
suck.
with.
They suck.
It's very, very uncomfortable. Not fun at all. You just can't relax at all because you just bundle up in a bunch of shit. Bundle up in shit while you're taking a shit. Yeah, very, very uncomfortable situation. So I'll go ski lodge with oops, actually I'm on my headphones here, I think. Ski lodge with the final pick there. Cass or Kobe said, what about the cushion toilets? That's a good point. You guys
none of my grandparents had
never saw that, yeah.
toilets.
You ever
What the
experienced
fuck
that?
is a cushion toilet?
Some like old, really old toilets will have a cushioned toilet seat. It'll be like leather with like cushioning in it.
Sounds cool.
I don't know if my grandparents specifically had that.
Or like,
I think about maybe.
you guys ever
one
used a
did.
toilet with like a bidet?
I know I've definitely used one before.
Never
but
used a bidet. No.
I've never used a
I've
bidet.
never
either.
used a bidet either.
Oh,
I'd love to
It
sometimes.
looks scary, man. It's like a water fountain. I don't like it.
I think I had the option as a kid. I think like one place where we vacationed at
Okay,
had it,
so it was laundry.
but I think I was a little too young to actually be like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah. Gives me heebie-jeebies, man. I would not want that.
Everybody who like used one or has one says that like they absolutely love it.
It is life-changing, but then again, I think of it like my ass is just touching cold water and I just have to be like happy about it. Like just wipe. Just wipe.
Yeah, I just think it's like you're more cleansly
Yeah.
with a bidet.
That is
I
true.
don't know.
That
Are
is
there any
true.
like honorable mentions that you guys can think of?
Well, I guess first we'll get Jason's comment here. He said he could very easily fit in the airplane bathroom. #pre. For those who aren't aware, that's #pre-cum. Because Jason is of smaller stature because he was a pre-cum as a baby, well, not as a created baby actually as the sperm. He was a pre-cum. So,
Congrats.
so yeah, unfortunate for him. All right, laundry grandparents makes sense. Probably wasn't the 90s because I definitely do remember using one. I just couldn't remember where for sure. I was trying to remember, but yeah, that probably makes sense. It was laundry grandparents. But Castle says the cushion has to be unsanitary. Probably true. Yeah,
It's got to be gross. Yeah.
I don't know.
Honorable mention. Typically it just ends up being a porta potty, but like also it's not really taking shit. But there's nothing worse than being on like hole 5, and like you really have to take a shit at
Yeah.
the golf course. It's like, do I turn around with a cart and drive all the way back to the clubhouse? That's a nightmare situation.
Yeah. Trying to think like other good ones. Oh, I'll go with like late night like road trip and like you're finally like coming up to like a city where you can like whatever go somewhere and go to the bathroom. And it's like the closest one or maybe sometimes even the only one is like just a really like shady looking gas station where it's like I do not want to go in there because it's gonna be super gross and there might be some characters around just kind of hanging out. Not the most fun.
I'm surprised y'all didn't do first date.
First date, yeah. I mean, it's kind of more like I don't know if it's quite a place, but I definitely see where you're coming from. That is a good.
Yeah.
It's like golf, like a
Just shitting in
situation,
general.
Yeah,
like, it's
definitely a
just-
situation.
Shitting in general.
Situation, yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Jason also has a good one here. Movies, pay for movies.
I've never
Oh,
taken a shit.
That's the worst.
I don't think I've had to, but I mean, it definitely.
I'm
would be
more of
great.
like
whole.
I drink like a 32-ounce fucking Coke, so I have to piss 4 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the worst.
yeah, it's definitely more.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that.
Would blow though. It's kind of like the same thing with like a sporting event or concert. Like you just miss a bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not quite as bad as the movies because you can kind of get in. and
Well,
out,
then
but-
also though, like you're bothering people. If like you're tucked in, you have to like get up and walk through people.
Kobe said in the office.
That's
Yes
my,
and no.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe if it's like
I'm getting paid to poop.
if it's a very small office, like one bathroom where it's like everybody sees you go in there
Yeah.
and like shit and then come back out type thing, that's maybe a little different. But I feel like if you're like in an office environment where it's like it's not really a big deal, like if you just go in the bathroom and shit, like that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like it's like
You're getting paid to poop.
yeah, I'm getting paid to poop, so that one's not too bad. Jay said the Swedish fish incident from the other end. Yeah, it did happen to me one time. I had an entire family size bag of Swedish fish. The movie came back up. Wasn't great. So got out.
You were definitely not sober for that, were you?
No. Kobe said kitchen sink. Coincidentally, also a place where it came up the other end for me. But also shitting there would not be good. So,
Kobe, does that mean that you have taken a shit in the kitchen sink? So, like,
I think he's just saying it's a bad place. I hope.
oh, well, then yeah, you can say that about like everything.
The shower.
I've seen someone do that.
Get a spatula and mash
You
it
can
down.
waffle stomp that
Yeah,
one.
dude.
Jason said anywhere Maze poops.
I was thinking there's another guy where it's even worse. Old roommate of yours,
Old
Pat-
roommate of mine.
Penner.
Oh, Penner. Yeah, he was
Those were
and
bad.
he had some bad ones too. All right. That probably does it, I think. If you guys have any other honorable mentions you want to throw out in the comments, go ahead. But that being said, I think we will
Ooh.
move forward.
I do have one
What?
more.
up?
Like a coach bus.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
it's a good one.
Oh,
Oh,
I forgot we had like a long trip for like a basketball team of mine. It's like you just can't go back there because then it's like all your teammates know what you're doing and they're gonna mess with you.
Well, that and then, like you'll just be hated by everybody because the entire bus will just reek.
Yeah.
So it's also bad. Also, Kobe did some clarification on the sink. Just a bad place. He has piston sinks though.
Well, who is not pissed? at the
everyone
sink
has.
before?
What the hell? Yeah, everyone has.
Yeah, I think you just let us know though. You just let us know that he's that
That's good.
level, that guy.
That's good.
All right, let's go to Kelly's key rankings. Now that we're speaking of shit.
Let's go.
In a world of politics, war, bad beats, and watching your favorite sports teams come up short, sometimes you just need to hear a guy rank random shit. Enter your hero, Colin Kelly, here today for another edition of Kelly's Kinky Rankings.
That's fine. All right, we're gonna be doing the greatest college football upsets. It's gonna be a little biased because some of the ones are just ones that I just grew up watching, and I'm just like, in the moment, thought it was a really good upset. So off the bat, we're gonna go number 5. We're gonna do MSU versus Mich in 2021. I'm sorry, Weez. Any comment?
You took my computer. I can Google right now. It was a ranked matchup
I know
at Michigan State. So what's the need for that being one of the bigger upsets in
your
college
team is
football?
ranked higher, but Kenneth Walker had 5 touchdowns against Michigan. It's an upset. It's an upset, but it's one of those games where I was at B-dubs and I watched it and I thought it was really entertaining. So I'm tossing it up on there. I'm gonna be a little biased. Kenneth Walker's a dog.
I'm almost positive it was like a 7 versus 9 matchup.
No, I thought it was 7 versus 3.
It's still a top 10 matchup.
Still, it's a good
At Michigan
upset.
State.
It's still a good upset.
Top 5 ever?
This is my personal ones. Like I've watched. I was gonna do ones where it's like, yeah, I could do like someone from fucking 90s, but like I wasn't there.
So what is BYU K-State from this past weekend on that list?
No, because that one's not that entertaining.
Okay.
That one's not that
All right.
generation.
You were right. It was 3 versus 9.
Yeah, I mean that's still a pretty. It's the rivalry game. It's pretty solid, man. All right, fine. All right, 4 Ohio State, Iowa, 2017. This game was fucking crazy. I watched this one. Yeah, didn't think Iowa would actually win. Yeah. You guys know about this game?
Yeah, I mean, I
Look
don't.
at the jersey. Why does it look?
Oh
Why does it
no,
look like almost-
they're fucking putrid. They're gray. They're black, gray, and yellow. Yeah,
Yeah, they wore those hideous.
yeah. That was a really
It
bad.
looks almost green in that photo.
Yeah, they were.
It
bad.
does look a little green. Yeah, that
No, that was a good upset.
was a good game.
Also,
yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead
Put
and
up like 50
assume
points.
that you definitely don't have this on here, but I will shout this out. NDSU versus Iowa. I believe it was 2016.
I did.
I want to say.
Yeah.
Iowa was ranked 13th in the country, I think, and NDSU beat them. So
Shit.
shout out. Yeah, maybe 16th in the country. I don't know, something like that. So yeah, shout out to the boys from North Dakota State.
Shout out home team.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. So I don't know. It was a good game. Fuck Iowa, but good upset. Number 3, Bama Auburn. This one's just classic. It's not really much of an upset because it's 4 against 1, but still sweet.
I mean, that's more just the moment of that game.
Yeah.
Is like, I don't know. That one feels like more like a greatest game
Yeah.
one, but maybe not as much
It's
upset.
it's tough because
You
yeah.
texted me the greatest upsets. I think we got lost in translation of what like a great upset truly is.
I mean, it's
I
one
get
of
that he's doing
it's one of the
from
most
his
important games.
perspective.
You could have
but
said
yeah.
like most shocking, like
Yeah. I mean, I didn't also
games.
want to have like JMU versus some random fucking team that was like top 5 that beat him in the early thousands because that's like
But I mean, it's like if you're gonna use
but that's a
if you're like gonna use Michigan,
that is a
like,
good that is
if
a
you're gonna
good
use Michigan, how
upset.
do you not go App State?
No, I'm sure it's gonna be on there. That's the only logic he has.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be on there. But I mean, this is also a personal list. I don't give a shit about garbage teams.
All right, fair enough.
You know,
I just think the title of this Skinky Rankings could have been altered to, suit the list a lot better.
that is true.
You,
Yeah,
you
I
picked
could
a 3 versus 9 and a 1 versus 4 game as the greatest upsets ever.
I didn't think Auburn would win, but then again, little 10-year-old me. What did I know? All right, fine. Yeah, have that 3. All right, 2. We're going Stanford, USC.
Okay, so again, I got to get in here because
You have to.
Well-
So that means that Michigan App State's won. It's like, where's Notre Dame and IU from literally 2 weeks ago?
well, then again, the other thing with this one is like you said it was personal rankings, but then you go with one that you were 3 years old for.
Yeah,
and
no.
didn't watch.
But I know about this game.
So it's
No,
like-
because it's also my ranking, and I knew about this game. Like I've seen highlights from this like a million times.
'Kay.
So I mean,
All right.
USC, man, they got fucked. Love it. So yeah, picked them at number 2. I mean, it's also like probably a top 3 all time anyway. So get a little bias in there. So probably one of the best ones ever. Yeah, that's about it.
All right.
1. Yeah, cream of the crop. App State, Mich. Yeah. Literally just App State. Love them.
Don't look at me. I'm out on this list.
Yeah. Should I have added another Michigan one?
No, I'm just, if you're going to, I would say nationally that is probably looked at as like the number 1 upset.
I don't know
Like,
what
but
else
you can't
would
do
be-
that. And then you literally can't like include the one from 2 weeks ago when NIU went to Notre Dame and won. Against
Yeah.
the 5th team in the nation. The exact same situation.
Yeah, but like,
Like literally the exact same situation.
yeah, but I feel like end of the year, I don't think.
Actually, not even quite that. Michigan was their opening game. It's like obviously the 5 was, preseason rank.
Yeah.
While Notre Dame just came off of a ranked win on the road and then did that.
Yeah.
Look, I don't hate the list if like.
Yeah, I just didn't want to include NIU because I don't really care for DeKalb.
So that's where my thing is. I get it. It is your rankings. I think it would have been like
Yeah.
a better name would have been like the most shocking
Most shocking.
to me.
Yeah. I could have just said Collins college football greatest upsets.
Yes.
Yeah, just have my name on there. Yeah, App State. Those guys are dogs.
I mean, at least you had the 2 most real ones at the top 2, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean the other ones were just ones that were just
Okay.
I think
I'm
I'm
just
still a
gonna-
little salty at that 2021 one because
that one's tough because like yeah, it's not really a greatest upset, but also that was fucking huge. Like that game was huge. 5 touchdowns.
Okay, so we can shout out some comments here.
Yeah,
Jason said Purdue versus Ohio State.
yeah, that one.
that's a
probably
good
could've
one.
been up
That's a
there.
good one too.
Cass said the NIU doesn't count because Notre Dame was never for real.
I,
Not a real upset.
I also agree.
That Michigan team sucked.
Not fair. Texas Tech over Texas, the Michael Crabtree game.
Yeah, shit, that would have been going.
He said, "Are we going to get the underdog over the favorite in a national championship at number 1?" I'm assuming that was just a joke at like Cletus picking just games that were just between 2 big teams.
Yeah,
Who said that one?
Cass, and then Kobe said, "Just should have named this college games Cletus likes."
would have been a lot. Would have been a lot more different. Yeah, I would have just done fucking the Iron Bowl, West Virginia, Oklahoma. I would have just done that for all 5. Just talk about that the whole time. Tavon Austin. Actually, that was an upset
Because
too.
now I want to Google that Michigan State game, like the spread on that.
It was
Because if it was under 7, I'm gonna have real problems with you.
hey, dude, Kenneth Walker scored 5 fucking touchdowns. That's pretty cool. That's like one of the biggest games like in MSU like history. That
Okay.
dude scoring those 5 little touchdowns.
So then why would you not have like Michigan beating Ohio State that year? Hassan Haskins 5 touchdowns. That spread was like 10. First win over them in 10 years. After that Michigan State,
okay, so
after that Ohio State team
this-
beat that Michigan State
So
team
I found
by
it. The
40.
Michigan
Was it 3?
State spread was 4 points,
That's
and
an upset.
Michigan money line was -200. Michigan State was +170.
Hey man.
But that's one of the greatest upsets
That's
in
about
the
as
history
far
of
as-
college
as far as
football.
you can- About as far as you can get from
Yeah,
an
hey,
upset.
if Michigan would have won that game, they wouldn't be on my list. So nice one, Harbaugh.
I mean, technically they are upsets, but
They are in fact
Not-
all upsets, and they're all Kelly Kinky's ranking upsets.
All right.
So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
At least you're standing by it.
let's go App State.
Um,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would have.
Cass said he's going to come down for the Wisconsin Nebraska game just to get in a conversation with you, Curtis.
Okay, that would work. Yeah,
All right.
we could do the jump around together, but here.
Yeah, because that makes sense. All right. That's enough of the Kelly Skinky rankings.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay job. The top two helped a lot, I guess, towards the end, but still just not a great ranking.
I thought Michigan would have been favored by at least 10. The fact that it was a 4-point spread.
It's more memorable.
Not great. Not
Come
great,
on, man.
But
It's
oh
good-
well.
It's a good upset.
Like the Purdue, not that you took the Iowa. That one was good because how big of a what was the final in that one? Because the Iowa and the Purdue against Ohio State were both like
It was high
like
score.
they were
I
like
don't know.
routes.
Iowa scored like 55.
Yeah, and I think Purdue beat them like 49 to like 14.
Yeah, they hosed them.
So those are upsets I can get behind because
Yeah.
they were bloodbaths. We lost on like a 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
That
Shit, I should have tossed the Iowa losing when they were number 2. Should have added that. Because I'm trying to who'd they lose to?
I don't fully remember. What year was that?
That was your freshman
What?
year. Freshman year. Iowa. They lost.
They were number 2 our freshman year.
Yeah. Number
Yeah,
2 team in
I
the
think they
country. Yeah.
Wow.
That's after
They got
they
pretty high.
beat like Penn State, right? That was your
Maybe. I don't know. They did get pretty high that year, though, I think. Kobe said Laundry Brother podcast, just ranking Kelly Kinky's rankings.
And that was like a
Or he also suggested Curtis, Kobe, and Cass out on the streets of Lincoln with special guests.
Oh man.
Kobe, if you and Cass can get down here by Thursday night, that weekend, that could work out pretty well. Maybe we could get you guys on. We can bully Curtis live and in person.
That would be electric.
Be electric for sure. All right, that's probably about does it though for today's show. So thank you guys all for tuning in. Again, one last reminder: follow the socials there, scrolling across the bottom at Rock Hard Ball or at Rock Hard Ball Pod on all the major platforms. Check it out; you'd appreciate it. We'll be back Thursday previewing Week 5 of college football, Week 4 in the NFL. Another big week of matchups in college football for sure as we got into conference play. Some big time ranked matchups that we'll be able to talk about. So should be a good show coming up. I know we've got at least one good group of commenters coming in for that one. Maybe we can get some more. Should be a good show on Thursday. Should be a lot of active chat just like tonight. So make sure you tune in, and we will see you then.